Wednesday morning, everybody. I hope everybody's doing fantastic. Hope everybody's, I don't know, just enjoying life in general. Let me know what you've been up to. Let me know where things are at in your life. I've really been feeling that I'm needing to finish up Facebook Live for the moment. Just got a lot of stuff going on, and there's now people are wanting more and more live face-to-face things. This is just starting to get a little bit too much for me just at the moment. Might start up again next year. I don't know. I go with what I'm feeling and what I'm directed to be doing. So this will be the last Facebook Live for a little bit. Not sure until when. So please ask me your questions. I have enjoyed being here and being with you and answering your questions because this is what I love to do. I absolutely love talking to the spiritual world. I love helping people deal with their emotional crap. I remember once somebody told me that I was an energetic plumber. That somebody's actually got to clear out the crap. Shop's going fantastic. Thank you everyone that's supporting us there. We are open back 6 days a week. Saturdays from 10 till 2:30. Mondays from 11:30 till 5:30, and the rest of the days are 10 till 5:30. We're still doing online orders and stuff as well, which is fantastic. But yeah, I cannot complain. I'm extremely grateful and extremely privileged to be here helping you guys. So ask me your questions. What are your spiritual things going on? I know that there was a few questions. Let's have a quick look at this. Just finding the questions. People ask me questions after the Facebook Live is finished, which doesn't really work. Because I'm happy to answer the questions while I'm live. If you're wanting questions asked after that, you can pay for 3 questions for the price of 2. More than happy to help you with that as well. A lot of people are getting like the 6-month, 12-month readings at the moment, coming towards the end of the year, this year being very all over the joint with Corona and COVID and shit like that. People are starting to get, 6 and 12 months readings as well, which is fantastic, which I love doing. But there's a message here from Bianca. Is there any guidance you can give me? What's going on for you, Bianca? Bianca, I feel like there's things that you're missing. I feel like there's stuff that the spiritual world's been trying to communicate with you as well, and you've just been missing it. I get the feeling there's something because you've just been, I don't know, it's like busy doing something else or busy with something else, and you're not picking up on the subtle things that the universe is trying to give you. It even feels like they're giving you lots of guidance, lots of little signs for you to actually work through and to look into. Yet I'm not sure. It just feels like there's stuff that you're missing. Yeah, my camera seems to be quite dirty. Sorry guys, I'm not sure what's going on with that. Yeah, it seems to be stuff that you're actually missing, Bianca. It just feels like you're really busy doing something else. You've gotten distracted doing something else, and you're not actually picking up on the signs or the guidance that the universe is giving you. My suggestion would be to make sure you're giving yourself a little bit more you time. So even if it's like 5 minutes a day, just to actually slow your body down, come back to yourself, feel yourself, connect in with yourself. Because it feels like once you actually reconnect with yourself and actually choose to actually be within yourself, it feels like the guidance is going to actually make a lot more sense. Another really fantastic thing to do is basically when you're actually connecting with yourself and actually dropping into yourself, actually ask like, what's your next move? Like, what's your next right move? What's your next direction that you're needing to be taking? And I've noticed many people do this. They ask the spiritual world a question, and it's like they expect an answer right there and then, and it doesn't work like that. Sometimes it does when it comes to, this is like when I ask a spiritual question for somebody else, like somebody asks me a question, I'm getting information for somebody else. The information comes, quite quickly. But it's when you're actually dropping into yourself and you're asking questions for yourself, like what's your next right move? What should you be doing in this situation? What should you know? Like what should you be looking into? That kind of stuff. You're asking questions for yourself. Sometimes the answers don't come immediately. Sometimes they may come the next day. Sometimes they may come in 2 weeks. Sometimes they may come in 2 months. But you've got to ask the questions in order to get the answer. And it just feels like, Bianca, that it's time to be asking a few questions for yourself and dropping into yourself. Guidance wise, look, they're just saying to trust yourself. You know what you're supposed to be doing. I just don't think you're doing it. The other thing they're also saying too is it's like you allow other people to, I want to say, piss in your ear too much. You allow other people to get up in your grill too much, and you're listening to other people and not actually listening to yourself. So take some time to actually drop into yourself, and that'll actually make a big difference, Bianca. Hi, Lorraine. Hi, Kat. How you doing, Kat? How you doing, Lorraine? Lorraine, when negative things keep happening, how to shift this? I can't open live video, but we'll watch later. Fair enough. Um, so Lorraine, when negative stuff keeps happening, quite often it's because we're looking on the external of ourselves as opposing to going, okay, what's going on with me that I am having something going on in here that I'm creating my external to be so negative. Because our external world is a reflection of what's actually going on with us. And quite often we don't realize what's actually going on with us. Quite often, it's in our back brains that we're generating an energy and actually sending that out. And the beautiful thing is quite often the universe, well, that's what happens. The universe actually sends us what's going on in our back brains as a reflection for us to work through our shed. So my question would be asking the question, Lorraine, is like, what's going on within yourself? Negative wise, like, are you speaking negative to yourself, or how are you beating yourself up? There seems to be a beating yourself up thing there as well, but it's like, how are you what's going on within you for your external world to actually be reflecting that negativity back to you. um Being aware also too that anytime we try to make some change, or we try to move forward, or we try to make things different, the universe will also give us a little bit of a resistance pushback to see how much you actually want that change, how much you actually want that shift. And sometimes it's a matter of not allowing ourselves to go into that experience of being in that negative space, but to understand that it's just a reflection of something that's actually going on with us, and we need to actually start looking a little bit deeper into what is happening for us that's actually reflecting out in that. Um, I hope that helps, Lorraine. If you're wanting, help to get into the back brain and actually work out what the emotional shit is, I'm your woman. Hi, Kat. You're okay. What's going on, babe? What can I do to assist my daughter at the present? She's in a dark hole. It is never easy when your children are in a dark hole. It's never easy when you're seeing loved ones going through such deep hurt and deep confusion. For your daughter, Kat, let me just have a little bit of a look-see. Okay, it's really interesting, Kat. For your daughter, there seems to be it seems to be there's a lot of self-doubt coming up. There's a lot of like doubting herself, self-doubt, that kind of stuff. But it feels like to me too that she's been like having dreams and stuff like this. A lot of stuff's being awakened for her. It also feels like there's a past life connection there with how this is actually connected. Um, yeah, it's actually sent her into really quite a dark space, but it feels like she's sort of trapped into an energy that's not helping her. I would actually start with things like, when was the last time you saged your house? Has she got a donut protection, donut protection around her bed so when she sleeps? I would even sort of look into seeing if she's open to doing a karmic clearing. Kat, it does feel like to me that you could actually do a karmic clearing for her and actually start helping her with that, shift the energy, but she's still got to choose to do it. But it comes down like massive self-doubt, like it just seems to, it feels like it's plaguing her with that self-doubt. Um, Kat, it does feel like to me it is going to shift. She just needs that little bit of support, and the energy needs to be cleared up around what's going on for her. Um, mm, See, I can give you like, mirror work's going to help her. There's so much stuff that actually will help her, but she's got to want to choose to do it. And until a person that's in that really dark space, that really dark hole is actually ready to do it, it's really kind of tricky for the person that really wants to help to not be able to help. Because it feels like she's just not quite ready to make the shift and change to actually be present in herself and actually change what she needs to change for herself. Um, Yeah, look, you can do a karmic clearing. I'm pretty sure you've got all that karmic clearing stuff. If you don't, please contact us and we can actually, send it to you, or you can pop to the shop and we can help you out with that. But it feels like if you're doing a karmic clearing for her, that's going to help start lifting the energy. But she's also got to choose to actually want to do it. I hope that helps. Sarah, hi Julie, you're looking beautiful today. Oh, thank you. I'm going to receive that. Very much going to receive that. Thank you. Um, what other questions do people have for me so I can help people out? Um, I think there was another. Let me just see if I can find. So, how is everybody? Um, I'm loving having people back in the shop. I'm loving doing, one-on-ones. Um, I'm loving interacting with people again face to face. It's beautiful. I mean, I love Zooming and all that kind of stuff, but I love interacting face to face. Kat says, thanks, Julie. Babe, I'm just sending you so many hugs. Like, I reckon it's one of the hardest things to go through, having your child um, go through stuff and you can't help them. And I can only imagine what our parents went through. Like we've gone through stuff as well. Like we've had to learn stuff and we've been through stuff as well. And for our parents to sit there and witness us go through that too, I can only imagine that it would have been hard for them as well. Um, I rest in the feeling a little bit more too, that I know that my children, whatever they're going through, they've also signed up to learn as well. Um, Even though it's really hard to watch and witness, all you can do sometimes is like just to be there for them and let them know that no matter what they're going through, you're there to support them. Um, yeah, I know it can be quite tricky, but yeah, there's a big comfort for me knowing that they also signed up to learn all of this too. And sometimes making it all like you're just wanting it to be all better and all lovely for them doesn't actually help them, like it didn't help when you needed to learn that as well. But yeah, it's not easy. Yeah, please do the karmic cleanse again. If you've already done it once, I would actually look at going, Kat, put in there like, um, it feels like to me like any unknown things. Like, so do the karmic cleanse with things that seem obvious, but also put the wording in there. So add extra wording in there of like anything that's unseen or unknown. Um, Anything that's hidden as well. It seems to be anything that's hidden, anything that's unseen, unknown, because I feel like that's going to start bringing shifting in order to bring stuff to a little bit more to light. But the other thing is, baby, is it feels like she just needs to talk. Like she needs to talk. She needs to talk about what's going on for her, even if it's just like totally screwed up, or she thinks it's screwed up. She needs to get that stuff out and she needs to talk about it. And if it's not to you, it needs to be to somebody else because it feels like she just needs to talk. Because it feels like she's allowing herself to be in in that self doubt space so much that she's so much in her head that she's actually also creating that more of a hole for herself, which is never a beautiful, never a nice thing for a child to be in or anybody to be in really. But sometimes you've got to go through it in order to learn a different way. There's a question from Tracy. Is my boy going to settle in okay at high school next year? I think it'll be a little bit of a shock for him, Tracy. But I feel like he will fit in, but it's just going to be a couple of months. What I've noticed, and I'm not sure if most schools are like this, what I've noticed, it's like they throw them massively into year seven, like with a shitload of work to do within the first couple of, um, like the first couple of weeks. like really throw them into the deep end with work. And the kids get really kind of very overwhelmed with it. Um, Yet it does settle down after that. I'm not sure why they do it that way. I think it's a horrible way of doing it. You'd think, you're starting year seven, you'd think you'd ease them into a little bit and build up. But no, it's like from what I've witnessed, especially with all my five kids going through year seven, is that they seem to like bombard them with all this information and bombard them with all these requirements within the first couple of weeks, and the child gets really quite overwhelmed. I feel like he will settle in okay. It's just going to take him a little bit. The other thing I've noticed too, Tracy, is boys tend to settle in a little bit easier than girls. Girls tend to, I've witnessed many, especially if the girl's really spiritual, like really, really in tune with herself, really spiritual. Once they sort of hit high school, it's like they try to fit in, and they can get quite sick and unwell for a little bit too, trying to fit in because they're not supposed to fit in. They're supposed to just be themselves. Boys tend to do it a little bit smoother and easier. Um, is my boy going to settle in high school next time? Yeah, I think he will. I think he's actually going to quite enjoy high school. I don't think he's going to end up doing what he thinks he's going to end up doing or what you think he's going to end up doing. But I feel like he's going to settle in quite well. I can see him making some friends. I can see somewhere along the high school track that he's going to make some wrong friends and do some wrong stuff. But I feel like he'll get pulled out of that pretty quickly, get pulled up pretty quickly, pulled out of it. But yeah, I think even next year, I think he's going to go, well, you're just going to need to support him a little bit more. Um, Tracy, there was also something coming up around his chest, like his lungs, his chest, that kind of stuff. It feels to me more like making sure he's wearing the right clothes when it comes to winter, so he's not going to get unwell. I'm not sure what that is, but just to give you a heads up. Kat, may I also ask if there's a change of direction for me coming my way? Well, Kat, I actually want to throw that back at you because it feels like to me, as much as you want a change, it feels like there's also a blockage there of like, you don't really want it. As much as you want it, you don't really want it. I'm in a similar situation at the moment. It's like as much as I want it, I don't want to do the physical of it. That's more to the point, but I want the change. But Kat, it just feels like there's something there that's blocking the change coming. Um, yeah, I feel like you're a little bit bored and you're just sort of cruising along doing. Um, it feels like and I've been tuning into this for a little bit, especially the last week or so, especially with that the new moon that we've just had. It feels like for a lot of people, because this year's been so screwed up and so out of the ordinary for everybody, it feels like to me that the next little bit of like coming up towards the end of the year is going to be very hard and fast with stuff. Um, and it's because it's like they've got to get stuff happening for the people that were cruising this year. And I really feel like the cruising needed to happen for a lot of people. As I said, I've said it before. COVID's like that. Whatever you haven't dealt with is in your face, having to deal with. But it feels like, Kat, there's going to be stuff coming up between now and the end of the year that's going to push and challenge you in order for you to actually decide what it is that you want out of your life and which direction you want to go. Because it just feels like you've just been sort of flailing around a little bit, just going with the flow, as opposed to going, you know what, I want this. Let's get into this direction. Let's go into this space. So it's definitely going to be pushing you to actually make some more decisions on what you're actually wanting out of life. So yeah, I do see change coming, but I feel like you're also blocking it a little bit as well. But yeah, step into what you actually want to do, Kat. It's actually time for you to actually take like the reins back and actually work out what it is that you're wanting. I would suggest doing a little bit of a maybe a morning routine where you're getting a journal or a book or something. Write down your fears, write down your desires, and write down your loves. And start doing that each day, even though you're not feeling like you need to do that. Still do it each day because it actually helps give your brain a space to know that it actually can be heard and listened to, and it's fantastic to actually get that out of your head as opposed to being in your head overwhelming yourself, which is also what your daughter's doing as well. So if you can even get your daughter to actually do like a bit of a journal where it's like fears, desires, loves, and doing that each day, that's actually going to start helping her shift her energy around. um, yeah. Yes, that's definitely happening with her. Yeah, I just see so much self-doubt, like extreme amounts of self-doubt, Kat. I get the feeling too that it's got to do with I know people, like, kids around her or people around her. She's just listening to the wrong people, like hanging out around with the wrong people, listening to the wrong people, and it's just gotten massively into head. Okay, I definitely do those points into another karmic cleansing. Yeah. Make sure that you get your house cleansed as well. As I said, make sure she's got a donut around a bed, that kind of stuff. Kat, also when you're doing it, can you make sure you do a box? You know what I'm talking about with the box in the house. And I'd actually put the box underneath her bed while you go around and cleanse, and then put the lid on the box and take the box out of the space because I feel like that will help. Um, Isabella, what a beautiful name, Isabella. Hi, hi, how you doing? What a beautiful name. Do you have a question for me? Ask me your questions, and I will see if I can help you. I have been noticing actually, I often I don't know if people go through upgrades. Well, people do go through upgrades, but some people don't realize. Sometimes upgrades and stuff can be really uncomfortable. I know that I have been feeling a little bit uncomfortable, sort of like middle of this year. This upgrade's actually been quite full on for me actually, and I've even had a little bit of a whinge at the universe of like making this so full on. Yet I love when you pop out the other side and all your gifts and your abilities are like so on. I'm noticing more and more and more that when I'm doing a one-on-one with people, I'm still doing coaching, I'm still doing readings, I'm still doing healings, the information's coming through so much clearer and so much stronger. Um, and I'm noticing too that the healing ability, my natural healing ability, and the other side's healing ability, that when you're even in the room with me, even just for a reading, you're actually receiving a healing as well, which is actually shifting and moving a lot of stuff as well. And I've been noticing that I'm like having little celebrations in myself of like, yes, I love my new gifts and abilities. So if you want to experience any of them, which is, face to face, you're gonna get so much more out of me. Kat, love you, and yes, cleanse the house twice. Yeah. Have you used Palo Santo? Sometimes I've noticed, especially this year, using Palo Santo as well as White Sage seems to be doing the clicker for things. Because the spiritual world hasn't been able to move around as much as they normally would. They're going and hanging out a lot more in houses and stuff like that, trying to suck and drain and off people as well. And I've noticed the combination of White Sage and Palo Santo is actually doing a kick-ass job as well. Yes, I'll do the box and another sage. Shoot, I just chucked out two shoe boxes. Yeah. So when you're doing a house cleanse, you can actually get any kind of box that you can put the lid on. Shoe boxes are fantastic. You do use a lot of aluminium foil with your shoe boxes, but hey, you can use a box that you've got handy. And it also closes portholes and allows other creatures and other realmy stuff to go home. Quite often there can be disturbances with portholes, rifts, vortexes, that kind of stuff in people's homes. And I asked a long time ago, because I close that kind of stuff differently. And I asked a long time ago, of like, how can we help the normal person who's actually doing their house, usually shitting their pants doing their house, which I totally understand. I remember the very first time I did a house cleanse of my home, um, close up portholes and rifts and vortexes and stuff like that. And that's what you use the box. So you line a box with aluminium foil. You get that ready with the lid open. Usually you place it near the front door, but Kat, I really want you to place it under your daughter's bed. Then you go around sage, Palo Santo, your home. You can do that at the same time. Clockwise around your home. When you finish that, you place the lid on the box, tie it up with a bit of string, rubber bands, that kind of stuff. Remove it off your property. Come back and grid your property, like with the little pieces of selenite, to make sure that you're not allowing. Well, it sort of puts a grid around so the ones that don't need to come back in can't come back in. Um, and then you get rid of the box because that helps all those little creatures and stuff to actually go home, because quite often the little creatures will come out and cause issues in your home and cause issues with your energies and cause issues with yourself, especially with children. They like pulling on children's ears and playing with kids because the kids can see them. yet they're basically just wanting to go home. They've come here for a reason, usually thinking that Earth's going to be pretty cool to actually play with. Kids usually bring them in as well, open up stuff and bring them in. But yet they come here, they go, hang on a second, I've done what I need to do here, and then they can't get home, and the box helps them to get home. Um, do you know what? I still blow myself away with what the information that comes through and the information that happens. Sometimes I even feel sometimes that I'm talking crazy. Yet the information that comes through is just so fantastic. And I just love what I do. I love what I do. Isabella, beautiful name. Just wondering how I should feel about how I should feel about incoming puppy. We had no dogs. Oops, that's this. We had no dogs for the last 10 months. Now we got offered a rehome just as a puppy. We were in line for was born. Okay, yeah. Feel like they were meant to be together, but I'm also a little anxious. Yeah, I can understand that. You're bringing a new life force into your home, um, and something that you don't get to control either. Like the puppies don't get to control. Like they don't have control over the bladders. They don't have control over this kind of stuff. So you have no control over it. So it makes so much sense, Isabella, why you'd feel a little bit anxious. Also, just wondering if there's, okay, I'm just going to talk about the puppy side of things. Um, Establishing boundaries, it's like when you have a child. You love them and they're so cute and it's gorgeous, but if you don't establish boundaries, it's not helping the child to feel safe, and then you can have problems with the child. Um, yeah, it's the same with puppies. They don't have control over stuff, and you've actually got to create that environment in order for them to feel safe, and also show that dominance that you are the pack leader, especially with dogs. You've got to show them that you're the pack leader so they don't think that they can actually rule the house. But babe, I think having a puppy is going to be fantastic. It's going to be a little bit of an adjustment, like it's a new energy in the home, but I can see it being just so beautiful, and you guys it's just being so beautiful. Yeah, so please go ahead with a puppy if that feels right. The other thing is too is that actually makes space for the anxiousness. Sometimes we try to push anxiousness and stress away, um, as opposing to sitting with it and actually going, okay, I'm just going to allow this anxiousness to be here. I'm really aware that I'm really nervous about this. I'm really anxious about this, and I'm actually going to give this feeling a space instead of pushing it away. And I'm actually just going to allow it to be there and still do what needs to happen. Because I think you'll really enjoy having a puppy. What kind of puppy? Let me know what kind of puppy, like what kind of breed. Um, Also, just wondering if there was any suggestions re-career stuff. Been a bit up and down, but the staff of my master's course are trying hard to get me to do a PhD scholarship for 2022. But I just want to be sure that I'm on the right path for me. I think it's fantastic, Isabella, that you've actually been offered, or people are trying to give you something. I think it's beautiful. Like it's a very big thing to be having a PhD scholarship. You've clearly got some brains in your head, which is go you. Um, my It sits with me, like it sits in to me, Isabella. It's like, is that what you're wanting? So it's all well and good to have people suggest things for you and offer you stuff, but it's I'm actually asking. I feel like there's a like, is this what I'm really wanting? Um, yeah, is this what you're wanting to do? Because the reality of it is that you're going to have to do the work. It's all well and good for them to offer you that, and I think it's fantastic. Yet you've got to do the work. So there's a part of there that's like, are you actually feeling like that's your direction you want to go into? I would actually sit with that a little bit more, Isabella. Maybe do some journaling, maybe do some brain dumping. I call it brain dumping, where you just get a piece of paper and you say, in relation to me getting a PhD scholarship in 2020, I believe, and then just write what comes out, write what comes out. Isabella, I also feel like for you too, that there is the stuff that happens with you. You get a lot of dreams. I'm not sure if you fully remember them all, but it's like they communicate to you and discuss stuff to you within your dreams. So I'd actually be really aware of your dream space, because I feel like that's going to be the information that you're after as well. But it feels like there's a piece there that you're needing to actually just sit and work out, what is it that you're really wanting. Are you really wanting to do the work to do that? Is this actually the direction you want to go? Um, I feel like no matter what, it's going to work out. I feel like no matter what, like I look into your timeline, and I feel like there's always going to be opportunities. There's always going to be stuff that you want to do, that you desire to do, that you enjoy doing. It just feels like you just need to give yourself a little bit more permission to actually sit down and work out for yourself what it is that you're wanting to do, Isabella. I hope that helps. But let me know what kind of puppy you're getting, because puppies are so cute. Cat house is already gridded. Fantastic. Um, Kat, is her bedroom gridded separately? I'm just really curious. And how have you gridded her bedroom? I would be looking at adding a little bit of extra gridding in her room. Even like adding an extra grid, like as in extra, put an extra selenite grid in her room, maybe around her bed. She's just needing that little bit of extra support at the moment, and it's not going to hurt to put a little bit of extra selenite around the space. But fantastic on having your home gridded already. Go. It makes a big difference, and it doesn't, like when your house is gridded, it doesn't mean that they can't enter. So often get asked the question, like, if my home's gridded, does that mean the ones that I want to be in there can't enter? No, it means that the ones that need to be there with you, the ones that walk with you, the ones that are there to offer you support, guidance, that kind of stuff, they're going to be able to get in and in any way and actually be there for you. What it does mean is it stops, it's like puts an energetic barrier around your home, that the ones that are not supposed to be in your home, the ones that are drainers, the ones that are horrible, the ones that are nasty, that kind of stuff, they actually feel the energy of the house, and it's like they can't get in. It's the same like with wearing your crystal donut. It's like the ones that you're walking out there in everyday life, they feel that around you and they can't attach to you or annoy you. I call it, like, it's a donut hag stone. I call it a spiritual fuck off stone, because the ones that are not meant to be with me, I don't want them anywhere near me, and that actually puts a barrier of protection around me, which they feel, and they can't actually disturb you. It's the same with your home. No, it's not. She needs full bedroom grid. Yeah, okay, perfect. So, Kat, yeah, I was going to say, it feels like there's her bedroom's not done. So yeah, get her bedroom separately done. I would actually get the bedrooms in general separately done, because quite often what happens too is, like, when you sleep, the energy can actually everywhere, and start disturbing everybody else. So I'd actually make sure all bedrooms are done. And I think that'll actually help out everybody in the household, Cat. Isabella, thank you, Julie. Beautiful lady. So interesting about dreams, because I've had lots of dreams. Yeah, it feels like it's like overwhelming. You can ask them before you go to sleep to actually slow the dreams down, especially with the information that you're supposed to pick up on. Yet it also feels like, Isabella, that your dreaming is also a lot of your subconscious processing that actually happens. It feels like you don't get to process a lot. I don't think you got to process a lot when you were a child, or a space to process a lot when you were a child, and it feels like that's starting to process out through now. It's not a bad thing, it's just sometimes it can be overwhelming, and the information that you're needing to know in the dreams and the processing can get a little bit mushed up. So just ask them before you go to sleep that the dreams are a little bit smoother, a little bit easier, and a little bit more easier to understand and to retain the information of the ones that you're actually needing to know about. But you process a lot in your dreams. You really do process a lot. I will send some photos of Charlie. Yeah, beautiful. Our new rescue. He's a mini, or how do you pronounce that? Schnauzer? Schnauzer? And we're getting a standard bigger puppy in January. Charlie is beautiful. Feel like he was meant to be ours. Oh, and I bet you, I got covered in goosebumps. I bet you he feels the same way, babe. I've had rescue dogs, and it's like they're just next level affectionate. They do take a little bit more time to trust, and they do take a little bit more time to work with. But oh my goodness, the benefits that come from that is just fantastic. My poor sister has a border collie that she rescued, and this dog has become amazing agility, won heaps of awards, fantastic dog, and it was also featured in the movie Backyard Ashes that came out a few years ago, that was filmed up in Wagga. Yeah, Charlie got to star as the dog in the Backyard Ashes, but my beautiful sisters had to actually put Teenan down this week, so I've been feeling like so heavy for her as well, because like losing them is just so hurtful, but she's just had such a beautiful life with tea. So yeah, rescue dogs have got a little bit of a special place in my heart. But I would love to see some photos, Isabella. Pop a journal beside your bed, like a piece of paper, so when you wake up, you can actually write it down, things that come to your head. But you process a lot through your dreams, Isabella, but you get information and guidance through your dreams as well. You just need to ask them to settle it down and separate it just a little bit. So on that note, is there any more questions that I can help anybody with? I want to say thank you for everyone that asks questions. I love doing this. Yeah, it's just really interesting. I've just been feeling like it's just time to put it on pause, so I can actually get some other stuff done. But I trust the universe is doing what they need to do. But once again, you can ask 3 questions for the price of 2. I record them and actually send you that recording to you. As I said, people are already starting to get in with 6 and 12 months forecasts of what's actually happening for them for the next 6 and 12 months. More than happy to help with that as well. But yeah, ask me your questions. I'm going to stay here for about another 5 minutes. Feel like sometimes I'm talking to myself, but that's okay. And I'm more than happy to help at the moment. How is everyone's preparing for Christmas? Yeah, I'm a little bit the same. It's like, holy shit, I'm not ready for Christmas. And we were going to head up to New South Wales to family up there, but I don't know what's actually happening with borders and all that kind of stuff. And part of me is like, I think the borders need to stay closed for the moment. I know that's not going to support a lot of people through Christmas and New Year's, but we've worked so friggin' hard in Victoria to get rid of this friggin' virus. I think traveling around will actually only help it get back into Victoria, which I don't think will be of benefiting anyone in Victoria, especially when we've been through such a hard little stint. But yeah, let me know what's going on for Christmas. Ask me your questions. I'm going to ask if there's anything else that the spiritual world wants you to know, especially for the people that are watching the recording afterwards. Okay, so one of the messages that are really coming through is that you guys have got to start trusting yourself. You got to start trusting yourself with what you wanting to do. Start trusting yourself with your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions. As I said before, quite often we try to push emotions away. And the biggest learning is to actually allow them to actually sit with you and actually create space for that emotion, because while you don't create space for that emotion and actually allow that to be a part of you, because it is anyway, that's when it creates more issues for you. But they're saying to very much start trusting yourself a lot more and actually be asking for what you want. I noticed a lot of the times this year that a lot of people have stopped asking for what they want, like stop manifesting, stop creating their desires, stop creating what you want in the world. It's now time to be doing that. Yeah, that's one of the things that I do in the coaching is that I'm, the desires and happiness coach. And that is, helping you to work out what you want, because a lot of times we don't even know what we want. We're even too scared to even ask for what we want. So we work out your desires. We work out what resistance there is to having your desires or you receiving your desires. We work through mother issues, we work through father issues, we work through inner child issues, we work through like body stuff, we do breath work, we do connection work. There's so much we do in the coaching, but they're saying that it's time to actually start manifesting and creating what you're wanting. Hi, Ponima. Isabella, sorry to hear about the doggy passing away. Yeah, I mean, he was like, it was beautiful to actually have it through old age. It wasn't anything else. It was just purely old age. And he's had a kick-ass life. But yeah, it's never easy to say goodbye. I know how hard that is. I sent a picture I took of Charlie to Happiness Heals. DMs, as I can't send it here, unfortunately. Yeah, totally. And I said, I look forward to seeing him, and I look forward to hearing how much excitement and joy he's actually bringing you, Isabella. And your new puppy in January. I think it's just fantastic. I think it's bringing an animal into the home. I know it's a little bit more work, but it's just such a beautiful thing to have in your life, especially to have somebody to come home to and to be so excited. I mean, I know I've got 2 miniature fox terriers, Oh, the noises they make if they haven't seen you for the day, or if you go for a week, like away for a week, that's like next level. It's just they're just so cute. They're just so cute. I love my animals. I know some people don't, but I do. I love my animals. I grew up on a farm. I grew up with a pet kangaroo. I've had animals all my life, and I do love them. They've got a special place in my heart. So, peoples, please be trusting yourself. Please come down to the shop and visit. We're more than welcome to have you in that space. Remember Christmas shopping. We, shop locally. Come and actually get a Christmas present for yourself or other people. We do have gift cards and stuff as well, like gift vouchers you can actually do and actually send to people. Um, we're open 6 days a week. We're more than happy here to help you. Oh, that's the other thing that's actually happening too is we now have David full time in the shop. For those who have met David, fantastic. For those who haven't, David is an absolute guru. I call him the body magician. He has the ability to place his hands on the body and actually know exactly your history and what's actually going on for you. He does massage and body work. He helps through the emotional stuff that's there as well. He is the one that people come to when they've gone everywhere else and they can't be fixed, or they've got pains or something in their body that no one else can actually work it out. He is the one that people come to and actually work through that. So he is now working in the shop full time. It's been a big adjustment for him. He was working part time on the weekends and stuff in the shop, but now he's made the decision. The universe made him make the decision to step into that role fully, and he is loving it, and he's loving working with humans and people and helping out. So if you're wanting a massage, or you're wanting a body fix, or you're wanting to work through emotional stuff in your body because you've got pain, please reach out to Beryl. Please reach out to us, and we're more than happy to book you in and actually see David because he is kick ass at what he does. On that note, I am sending everybody big hugs. I'm so grateful. I am so blessed to actually be in this space with you guys. As I said, I'm trusting what the universe is guiding me to do. I will be saying goodbye to Facebook Live just for the moment. Maybe it will pop up again next year. I don't know. As I said, I'm just trusting in the guidance the universe is giving me for the moment. But I'm sending everybody big hugs and loves. Please keep safe. Hopefully, we won't have to wear my face mask for too much longer. And if you're needing anything, reach out because I'm happy to help you deal with your shit. Bye.